So, good morning to you all. I am Emmanuel Gomez, a proud Lancer, core scholar, equipo miembro, and Pasadena City College president of Associated Students. From wherever we are joining this morning, we meet today on indigenous homelands. In particular, the sites that make up Pasadena City College are located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the peoples who identify as Quiche, Tongva, or Gabrielino, depending on their own preference. We recognize that we are all simultaneously teachers, learners, and guests on these lands. This land acknowledgement is a small part of an ongoing process of working to be in good relationship with the land and the ancestors, elders, and emerging people of the land, and embodying equity in practice as well as theory. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor those who recited here before us. Thank you. First, I want to thank Dr. Hatch for including me in this professional development. I feel worthy and honored. Gracias, your family. As president of Associated Students, Pasadena City College, I have 3 requests for you all this morning. 1, please be mindful, empathetic, and validating when communicating with students, because we all weren't raised in the same conditions as you may have. 2, please recognize that student leadership is a form of community service in efforts to advance our Lancer community in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And 3, please connect with us to strategize. We are in the Office of Student Life on this main campus. It is our goal to ensure that all of our faculty know who we are as an organization and what we can do to support our peers. Come on, you aren't just the future, we are the present. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, PCC. My name is Dr. Gina Lopez. I am a counselor and coordinator for the Ujima Black Academia program. I'm also the new Academic Senate President. Good morning.
Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Ernesto Partida. I am a transfer specialist on campus. I am the Vice President of the Association of Latino Employees and President of the Classified Senate.
Had to be me. Good morning. I am Dr. Rebecca Cobb. I'm the current president of the Management Association. And so honored and humbled to lead that incredible group of folks on this campus. We're excited to join you today for the first of 2 of our professional development days for 2021. As you move through today's program, please take time to consider all of the things you do to support our students, as Manuel said. And remember why we're here today, to put your learning to work, to learn from our colleagues as well, and learn new things that you will undoubtedly hear in these sessions. To my managers, not my managers, to the incredible managers, let's continue to lead with integrity, wisdom, and fearlessness. I know you're exhausted. I know you're exhausted. I see you. Let's lead from a place of compassion and service, always with a focus on equity and social justice. I appreciate all you do for this campus community and our students. Thank you so much. Let's continue this work even when it's hard. Thank you.
PD Day is a great opportunity for our PCC community to come together and reflect on all the ways in which we keep our college a vibrant and dynamic place to work and learn. Even though we all serve various roles across campus, we are united in our common purpose of supporting our students in their academic and career pursuits. In particular, I am proud of how our classified professionals have continued to thrive during the uncertainty that this pandemic has presented all of us. We have been back on campus every day since last month, and time again, I continue to see the dedication each and every one of you have displayed to the success of our students. As it relates to what the purpose of today is, I encourage all of you to take an inquiry stance on how today is applicable to the work that you do and how it does adapt and change with the pandemic that we're in. And lastly, to ask yourself, what more can I do to continue this learning to collectively improve our college? Most importantly, I leave you with this. In order to see any progressive change, we must all participate in whichever opportunity that presents itself. We must continue to learn and continue to work with the other groups on our campus to address the issues that present barriers.
This year's theme, Reconnect, invites us to reconnect with each other, our student-centered mission, and our commitment to professional learning. It is my pleasure, my sincere pleasure, to serve as a faculty member and to serve the faculty. And although the Academic Senate Board is currently not in session, the Academic Senate executive team has been working with the Faculty Association and the district on behalf of faculty during this global pandemic. We look forward to continuing our advocacy for PCC faculty. And on a personal note, as PCC alum, former hourly worker, former classified worker, current faculty for counseling and academic senate president, I stand in solidarity with counseling and the non-instructional faculty in their quest for a more equitable solution to support the health and safety of my colleagues. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite our president, Dr. Erica Androjonas, to the stage. Please let's welcome her.
All right, good morning, everyone. I had the wrong order in my mind. Well, good morning and welcome back to those of you who are here in Sexton with me, and for those of you out there in YouTube land. A year ago, I would not have predicted that we would be hybrid for our Professional Development Day today. I never would have predicted this. But as we all know, it's a really crazy, crazy time. And it has been nice lately to see students wandering around on campus, to see staff and faculty out there. And I'm really excited for fall to begin on Monday in whatever format it begins. I want to start by acknowledging the hard work that my colleagues have already talked about for the last year, and of our staff and our faculty, really over the last 17 months, both virtually and in person. I also want to give a shout out to the collective energy that supported instituting a vaccine mandate for all employees and all students at PCC, because the heart of that is about ensuring the health of our community, not just when we're here on our campus, but also when we're out there in the world and with our families. So, you know, a big shout out to there has not been universal acceptance or support for vaccine mandates at other campuses, and I just want to appreciate the fact that all of the groups that we worked with were really interested and supportive. So thank you for that, because it's really important for us to do our part for the community. You know, the mandate is not the only safety precaution for everyone on our campus. It's also a way for PCC to do our part, as I said, for the larger community to stop COVID. I'm not going to talk a long time today because we've got some really great information coming up and sessions to go to, which I know my colleagues will talk about. But I do want to give you some quick updates. The first, and I know it's on a lot of people's minds, what about that Mackenzie Scott money? At $30 million, at $30 million at reasons that PCC rocks. Getting lots and lots of questions. So I thought I would share a little bit of information about that. The first thing is that it's kind of weird to call it the Mackenzie Scott money. You know, that's kind of a weird way. You know, that Mackenzie Scott money, we know. So actually, what we're going to call it is the PCC Community Excellence Fund. And as you know, it's $30 million. And before anybody asks, no, we are not spending it. We're not spending $30 million. What we are doing is investing it, right? We're investing it. Our first opportunity to spend money from it will come in July of 2022 after it's invested. Money has come out, and we'll probably have somewhere between $1.1 and $1.2 million that can be allocated out on an annual basis to the campus. And I just want to give you some expenditure themes. Okay, one expenditure theme, because again, $1.1, $1.2 million, that's a lot of money, but there are lots of ways that we could look at utilizing those funds, not in we're going to pay for this program in an ongoing way, but more in different ways, more targeted ways. So one way will be on innovation. You know, is there some innovation in the program that you work in? And that doesn't have to be an instructional program. It can be student services, it can be business, it can be anything. So innovation. There will be another expenditure theme is seed money for new programs or new ideas. That doesn't necessarily mean it's innovation, meaning innovating what you already have. There also could be a request to expand a particular program, especially ones that have a strong record of effectiveness and success. Because, and this is what's really key, this is one of the reasons, this is a great way to look at how to employ those funds. PCC has a reputation as the place where good ideas get started and pilot projects are born and they come to fruition. There are a lot of colleges out there that do pilot projects. They start a little project and it kind of dies or it fizzles. There are so many examples here at PCC where that is not the case. A pilot project was a great idea, put some money behind it, some human power behind it, and it became an amazing program or an amazing service or what have you. And this is really a great way to continue that amazing tradition of PCC. And I just want to make sure everyone knows that this isn't just going to be me sitting across the hall in my office saying, who should I give this money to? That's not how it's going to be. In the spring, we will fine-tune an application process, and a broad cross-section of people will provide input on that. And it won't be a standing committee, meaning the membership stays exactly the same. It'll be a broad cross-section of people because we want to make sure that that there is opportunity out there for all kinds of parts of the college to access these funds to do really great things. Really excited about it. Stay tuned. Again, we are not spending $30 million. We are investing it. Yay. So that future generations will also benefit from it. Okay, so later in the program, you're going to hear an update on our Partnership Resource Team project from Tuk Tuk and Talene. But I will offer an update that relates to the overall theme of the PRT, which is increasing collegiality across our campus. Although she retired in June, not too long after I arrived, faculty member Ani Dodge came to me and suggested that we return to publishing a directory every year that had pictures so that if you were wandering across campus, you would kind of know who you were talking to because you'd seen their picture in this book. And that there's a strong collegiality, there's connectedness when people know other people, they know their name, they can recognize them. Well, in the interest of killing fewer trees on a directory that would need to be updated and printed every year, we instead have had name badges made for staff and faculty. Okay? And the badge has your name, it has your area, and how long you have been, quote, serving students at PCC. So my badge says serving PCC students since 2019, since that's when I started. The badges will be distributed through division offices and across campus. And I really encourage you to wear your badge whenever possible on campus because this is how we can connect with one another. It's better when you know each other's names. And I will, just take a page from the happiest place on earth, also known as Disneyland. If you recall, when you go to Disneyland, everybody has their badge, but the same thing is true in all of their corporate offices. So the CEO of Disney wears his badge every single day, and as you can see, badge, collegiality. But you'll hear more about that soon from Tuk Tuk and Talene. Another update that's kind of exciting for our college relates to the Strong Workforce Regional Consortium, and I'm excited to announce that Pasadena City College is going to be the fiscal agent and home to this newly formed Los Angeles Regional Consortium of the 19 colleges in Los Angeles County. For the last 24 years, the regional consortium has been grouped with Orange County and kind of been this behemoth of 28 colleges all trying to work together. And so the LA County is going to be totally focused on LA County. And it's a really great opportunity because we know how important it is for our students to have internship opportunities. It's important for us to connect them to employers, especially our career technical students who hope to go right into the workforce after they graduate, and even for our transferring students who might need a job or they want ongoing opportunities to earn money. So it's really exciting, and there'll be more information about that. The formal application is due on August 31st, so if Salvatrice Como is not here in the room, it's because she's off writing this application with her team. And then finally, and I know again it's in the program, Dr. Carrie Bolin, who is now Associate Vice President, Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer for Pasadena City College, will be sharing the details of her newly formed division in just a few moments. So there is a lot of exciting things happening right now. And again, I just want to thank everyone who's here and everyone for what promises to be a really interesting and somewhat challenging year ahead of us, but we are going to figure out how to do it, and most importantly, we're going to figure out how to do it and be successful and help our students together, because that's the whole reason that we're here, serving students at PCC. Okay, so enough from me, and again, welcome to fall, and wherever you happen to be, and I just want to remind everybody that what was true on March 12th, 2020 is still true, and that is Semper Gumby, folks, Semper Gumby. And now, I think, is it Alex? Okay. There were two, I just want to go on record as saying there were two different orders that I got two different agendas, so that's why. So Semper Gumby, see, that's why I didn't know who I was introducing, Alex or a video. So Alex, I'm going to introduce you, our special assistant to the president, and everything. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, right on. Thank you, everyone. Glad to be here. Thank you, Dr. Androgenis. I'm going to remove this for the joy of speaking, but of course, I'm in a room with a lot of people, so I wouldn't normally do that, would I? Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to have you here. Good morning in YouTube land. I'm going to spend a little bit of time today just talking about some COVID updates, of course, but I want to start in a different sort of frame just to kind of set the stage. I think it's good to pause on a day like today. Through this whole thing, I keep coming back, when I'm able to pause, I'm able to think for a second, I keep coming back to the fact that through all of this, we're all humans, right? We are all humans in a very scary, fearful, challenging situation. And so naturally, when humans are in that kind of position, we're going to have friction. And I think as we come back here today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the structures through which we're going to come back here today, we're going to need to know that about each other and be ready to embrace each other in that way. So I want to start off by talking today just a little bit about some respect, right? We're all different people here with different experiences, coming with our backgrounds, coming with our own experiences through COVID, through our lives, and coming together to do something for students and for our community. And I just find that a helpful place to start when I'm thinking about these kinds of conversations, when I'm thinking about coming to work. We're in uncharted waters, and so if somebody's coming to me to ask for help or has a question, it's helpful for me to pause and sort of think for a second before I try to respond. I also want to highlight in that theme, we have added to the campus landscape a memorial tree. This is planted over by the Veterans Memorial Wall at the Center for the Arts building. It's a blooming cherry. Every spring it should bloom with some pink blossoms. And the plaque at the bottom has a brief message just about how it's planted in memory of all those we lost to COVID-19. Not just here within our community, in our family, but in our families, in our extended families, in our friendships. It's been a real journey, and it's important to remember that there's a lot of grief around right now. So I hope that we can visit this as time goes on. It'll be there for years. And we can come if we ever need a moment to center ourselves and just sort of take a second to remember our humanity in that way. So please, I hope you can take a visit today if you're here on campus, or the next time you're here, please come take a look. So on that note, I want to go through a few things today. I'm calling them expectations and etiquette about COVID-19, just to understand where we are as we come back to reoccupy this space, particularly as we welcome students in starting Monday. I'm going to start with masks. Clearly, as I said, we wear them when we're in groups in indoor spaces. Basically, if we're in a place where there are more than one person, I think it's a good idea to keep your mask on. As time goes on and as different news comes up and different fears come up, there may be places to lessen that. But again, let's approach each other. Let's be welcome to each other. Let's work with each other on that. And remember that we all may have different preferences. Just here are some examples of places that you might think about as an indoor public place to keep your mask on. When you're outdoors on campus, please try to keep your mask on in large groups. It's hard sometimes to count the number of people, so I tend to think of a reference point like a city bus. If you could fit the people you're with in a city bus, it's probably a large group. You might want to think about having your mask on. You might think about having it for less. It's really your call. But remember, that's just kind of our guideline here. Let's give each other some personal space, particularly at a time of year when we're used to seeing each other, giving hugs, coming back together. We might think about, remember that we're being cautious right now. And not just that, but respect other folks if they want to have some space, if they want to have some distance. Just make sure you're giving people some space there. And now on to the vaccination expectation. We've all heard about this. I hope that we've all taken the step to go ahead and submit our proof. I'll have some stats on that in a second. These are the deadlines that we're working against here. That the September 13th, which is a couple weeks from today, is effectively the last day we should all plan on getting our final shots, or our first shots if you're doing Johnson & Johnson. The reason for that is because it, of course, has a 2-week, I don't know what to call it, brewing time, let's call it, so that by the time you come at September 30th, you've had the antibodies growing in you for enough time to consider yourself fully vaccinated, you're fully brewed. And then on the next day, October 1st, of course, the vaccine program here will be in effect. That'll mean that there's a reasonable guarantee that the folks on campus are either confirmed to be vaccinated or have a reasonable exemption, and we have programs in place to help deal with that. And now some etiquette. I want to talk a little bit about how we can approach each other in that space. We are working to create, I want to give a shout out to Adam Howard and Candace Jones and ITS, to create a easy to glance at badge that talks about whether campus access is approved. This means that we don't have to engage in potentially difficult conversations with people about vaccinations or medical excuses or religious excuses or other things that might be difficult for us to engage with people that we don't normally talk to, students, employees, the rest. So hopefully this will give us a chance to say something instead of, why aren't you vaccinated, or can I see your papers? May I see your badge? That's a way for us to help, diffuse that situation a bit. Particularly if you're a faculty member, you're going to have a lot of students in your classes. This is hopefully going to be a tool you can use to see people through there. This will appear in Lancer Point, and we're working on having it show up in other places as well. But we really want this to be the way that folks are able to check That being said, I also want to remind folks, people at heart are hopefully good people. We should assume the best of folks. And if they're here on campus, I would assume that they've gone through the process. They are, they follow the protocols. Let's meet each other on that level. Cautious, trust but verify, right? Just some statistics for you. So far, as of this morning, we've received 4,500 submissions from students submitting proof of vaccination or request for exemption. The numbers for employees is 800. So those are actually really encouraging. It's been a couple of weeks since we started this program. It's a system that people can submit information online. They can submit information in person. So through both of those avenues, we've had a pretty good turnout. And I think we're going to see those numbers climb. And so this is just an illustration, I think, of how we're going to approach the fall in front of us. We're here to have a strong and successful fall semester. And so what we are all engaged in is a bit of a balancing act, right? We need to keep our public health responses strong, but we also need to remember that we're serving a body of students that need our help, we are here to help them succeed. And so it's going to be a constant exercise in navigating those together. I can say from experience, there have been so many conversations where we've weighed these literally probably going like this over and over again to try to figure out what the right response to something is. And so I just want to encourage you to keep that graphic in mind as we work ahead here. On that note, I want to share a note from my colleague, Dr. Carrie Boland, who you'll hear from in a second here. I'm just going to read it out loud. At the end of the day, we are institutional agents with the awesome responsibility of co-creating knowledge with students towards deeper learning and understanding. We are not here to manage one's personal choice concerning vaccination or other things. And as such, we have put in place important practices to support and prioritize health and safety. I think that's a really good way of looking at what we're doing here and what we're going to continue to do as we go forward. Some links and some information to go for more information if you want anything. I hope you're familiar with these. If you're not, please start becoming familiar. The Lancers Together page is a place where we're collaborating and bringing together a lot of information. It frequently changes. You can find a link to that at the top of every page on our website. It's also linked off the homepage where we talk about coming to campus. Beyond that, you can always call our 855 number, 855-GO-TO-PCC. And then the health updates at Pasadena.edu email address is a great place to ask questions, bring concerns, direct students, share your views, whatever you need to do. We are responding to that daily. Folks all over campus are engaging with that. So with that, what I'm going to do next is share a brief video that we pulled together, just showing kind of what's been going on the last year. It's a lot of fun. You'll see some familiar faces. And following that, I'm going to welcome to the stage my colleague, Dr. Carrie Boland, author of that wonderful quote, thank you very much, and also our Associate Vice President and Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. Thank you.
Because this is such an amazing location. This is a great location to let Black students and the Black community know that not only do our voices matter here at PCC, but we're going to put us front and center, and that we are welcome here, and that Black students, you have a place here. And Dr. Walker always talks about, well, I'm going to actually talk about the data about how Black students need to feel at home at a place. But this is a great statement, so thank you.
I am where I am today because of PASS. PASS gave me the skills, knowledge, support, mentorship that I needed to get out of academic privation and graduate from PCC and into a four-year university. My last year at my university, I graduated with a 4.0, even though I was taking 19 credit units, completing a doctoral research assistantship and an internship for my career field. I am where I am today because of the support, the counselors, Ofiq, and everybody at PASS.
Congratulations, Stephanie Ibave, for winning our Spring 2021 President's Award.
As a first-generation college student in my family, it means everything to me to receive this award and scholarship and to be able to graduate from PCC this spring.
Good morning. My name is Richard Laird. I'm the Executive Director of Facilities and Construction Services. Today we're going to do a brief walkthrough of the U building, which is known as the Serafian Paramedical Science Building. It is scheduled for demolition and reconstruction.
My lights indicate the purity of your air by color. Blue, pretty pure. Amber, so-so. And red, I need some air.
Congratulations!
مبروك تهانينا.
Congratulations!
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 Félicitations!
Félicitations!
Ich gratuliere euch für euren Erfolg.
Congratulazioni!
Congratulazioni!
Parabéns!
Поздравляем, поздравляю.
Felicidades!
Oh, and one more thing.
All right, what a wonderful illustration of the resilience of PCC. Good morning, Lancer family. My name, as has been introduced, is Carrie Bolin. I serve as Associate Vice President, Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at PCC, and I do count it a privilege to be in fellowship with each of you. When I started in mid-November of last year, it was and still is an incredibly sensitive and challenging time for our local, national, and global communities. We were and still are in the midst of twin pandemics, right? That being systemic racism and COVID-19, both large degree institutional and structural challenges that impacted not only the way in which we moved about the world, right, but how we saw and engaged with one another. We witnessed the unmasking of centuries-long racial inequities in education and health, the disproportionate financial impact on communities of color, and the far-reaching racialized violence on BIPOC and AAPI individuals. There was and is no better time than now to reframe diversity as an institutional imperative. And as such, an imperative that extends beyond student success, albeit student success remains critical, but that begs the question of whether our institutions are building the capacity to support our missions in a diverse society, and if so, how? Building capacity for diversity means setting diversity at the center of the mission. It means broadening the discussion beyond admissions or undergraduates and bearing it according to the institution's location and context. It's in that spirit that the Division of Institutional Equity, Diversity, and Justice was formed as a vehicle to deepen collaborations and leverage resources to help the college advance its goals around equity, diversity, and inclusion. The work of the division will focus on cultivating partnerships to address the following: access and success, institutional viability and vitality, meaning assessing our institutional capacity and structures for diversity, education and scholarship, and climate and intergroup relations. These four pillars will be supported by the work of our incoming Executive Director for Student Equity and Success, our Title IX and EEO investigator, our faculty diversity coordinators, and all of you, our community and campus partners. Some highlights of the work that is taking place includes the launch of our Equity in Action Toolbox series. So excited about this. It's featuring our trauma-informed practices from an anti-racist lens. Starts today for our faculty, which will be exploring trauma-informed approaches to teaching. We'll provide an additional space for our staff at the first week of October, again, sort of tailored towards our support serving individuals. Additional toolbox workshops include from bystander to ally trainings in October and November, as well as our Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Practices addressing racial and human value hierarchies. We'll be featuring some of those spaces in the fall and spring semesters, and all of which are programmatic efforts aimed to increase skill building and leadership focused on DEI readiness to optimize our working and learning environments. Second, we'll be posting a 2-part online tutorial accessible through Canvas and the division webpage that serves as an introduction to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The intention of these tutorials is to provide the community, faculty, staff, and students with a foundation of knowledge related to terms used within the work of equity and inclusion and to support a shared language. That's important. Third, we've partnered with Human Resources to reimagine the reporting process around complaints of bias, discrimination, harassment, and sexual misconduct. We're also working collaboratively to position EEO training beyond compliance, right? And thinking about it as a tool to broaden one's cultural lens on equity in hiring practice, workplace environments, and cross-cultural communication. Our hopes are to have these additional EEO opportunities available for this spring. Fourth, we've institutionalized the President's Leadership Council on Equity, Diversity, and Justice that will consist of representation of all stakeholders at the college and convene at the end of September. Really, the purpose of the council will be to provide direction and support and oversight for the college's work to become more diverse, equitable, inclusive, and anti-racist through its policies and practices and programs as well. It'll serve also as a recommending body to the president to ensure an equity-minded learning and working community that supports the full engagement of all human expressions. Fifth, I'm getting there. We are looking forward to the fall to begin working alongside faculty. There's so much to share. Faculty in the Professional Development Office to implement, I'm really excited about this, a certification program that supports leadership in equity and diversity. This professional program will aim to foster leadership in DEI at the local level, right? That's for all of us folks working at that ground level, and professionalize the work to include competencies in areas such as personal awareness and unconscious bias, race, power, and privilege, impediments to inclusion and cultural competency, and how to measure the impact of diversity and inclusion within your spheres of influence. 6, we are also this close to our webpage going live and such, and we really want to encourage this being kind of the lighthouse for all things related to the division. So as soon as that's been done, we'll get that communication out there so that you can start visiting in it. But what it will also do is include the support and championing of the outstanding work of the equity and inclusion work that's taking place on campus. So it'll serve as a holding tank for all the things that are taking place on campus under sort of that large umbrella of equity and inclusion. There'll be a tab on there that's featured that says Equity in Action, and a form will pop up and allow for you to upload whatever it is that you're doing sort of within that wheelhouse. It could be a program, Maxim at PCC, along with our Men of Color program, Ascend and Puente. We're looking forward to centering their work of the outstanding program directors as a diversity imperative, as well as home to efforts to support the expansion of approved ethnic studies courses and the eventual establishment of an ethnic studies program with the new appointment of our ethnic studies faculty coordinator. Finally, y'all have been waiting for that finally. The work of the division will also prioritize monitoring of progress and engage change in strategic ways by asking the question of how can we know if we are making progress, right? And if so, in what areas? So we can focus our resources and attention accordingly. Some examples might include monitoring data to identify and aggressively address our achievement and opportunity disparities. It also might mean monitoring faculty hiring for diversity compared with faculty turnover to avoid losing a significant opportunity to diversify the next generation of faculty here at PCC. Institutional structures and functions must change to promote positive outcomes for all and to maximize the benefits of diverse environments. There is much work to be done, so on behalf of the division, we thank you in advance and look forward to working in community with you to inform internal practices, structures, and attitudes in pursuit of a truly more equitable and just PCC. And in that spirit of a more inclusive and justice-centered campus community, I'd like to welcome my colleagues and chairs for the Partnership Resource Team, Dr. Tuktuk Tongtharaj and Taleen Seropian. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. Oh, great. You can see my dress. This is nice. Thank you, Jason. I'm talking to no one. Okay. Hi, my name is Dr. Tuk Tantraj, and I'm the...
It's off.
What? It's off.
The switch, I think.
What did I do?
I don't know. Try flipping the switch. Try that.
Hello again. Whoa. Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Tuk Tantraj, and I'm the Dean of English at Pasadena City College. I'm also the current president of CAPE, Coalition of Asian and Pacific Employees. What I'd like to start off is an acknowledgement of where we are. Over the past 18 months, COVID-19, social and political unrest, and natural disasters created a whirlwind that continues to impact us. This whirlwind not only called upon us to adapt, but also to learn and live and work with uncertainty. We cannot pretend that we haven't struggled with our current reality. Many of our daily tasks have become more challenging, more isolated. Work without our colleagues nearby is just not the same. One can admit that community is better built, though, when we're all together. What we do know is that we can do better, especially in the ways that we relate to each other. Despite the many unknowns that lay before us, we know that our community is special. We are comprised of exceptional individuals that want to connect and are poised to make a difference. These relationships serve as the foundation for two campus-wide topics, collegiality and communication, that together we're going to focus our attention, explore ideas, implement changes, and enhance our connection and relationships to one another and the campus. One thing is certain, we can't do it without you. What is the PRT? The PRT stands for Partnership Resource Team. The Calvert Community College's Chancellor's Office accepted our application for resource experts from across the community college system to speak to managers, staff, and faculty about the ways in which collegiality and communication are working well and can be enhanced at PCC. What has been done so far? Well, a lot. Okay. After receiving feedback from the team of resource experts, a 12-member writing group consisting of 4 managers, 4 staff, and 4 faculty members wrote the PCC PRT plan. This plan outlines objectives related to collegiality and communication, and the associated action steps and timeline. After submitting the plan to the Chancellor's Office, our college received the $200,000 seed grant to fund the implementation of activities and tools for 2021-2022. As co-leads, Talene and I are going to finish gathering references for consultants, surveys, book club, titles, and more. Want to help out? Come to our Flex Day workshop today to share your ideas.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Talene Seropian, and I am a counseling faculty member at PCC. I am also the president of PCC John, which is the Joint Armenian Network. That is one of the newest, actually I believe the newest employee organization on campus that I encourage you all to join, Armenian or not, because we are a community on this campus. I wanted to further along what my amazing co-lead Tuk was talking about, which are what are our immediate actions that will begin this fall, because this is in fact not just a one-year project, but is really ongoing. However, we'll begin by focusing on these actions specifically. We'll be administering surveys and focus groups, both qualitative and quantitative, because we want to hear your voice. Your voice matters and is the most important thing to our communication and collegiality on this campus. We'll be co-creating a campus-wide definition and statement on collegiality. It's not our definition, it's your definition. We're gonna launch PRT tea times, go with it, I love little plays on words. We're gonna be launching PRT times, mixers. We'll be having some virtually as well as on campus, a campus-wide book club, President's Forum, and other professional development opportunities that we welcome you to join. We'll also be establishing campus-wide community agreements and norms that we invite campus meetings to adopt at all levels. We'll also be investigating the addition of a committee or task force to help support these ongoing work for collegiality and communication, because remember, it doesn't end on June 30th, 2022. You are the most important piece of this. So why should you get involved? Well, I think before I ask you to get involved, perhaps we explain why we got involved. We accepted the invitation to become co-leads of this opportunity because of our love of this campus and our belief that together we are an incredible community. We believe that together, all of our employees, including our classified staff, our paraprofessionals, our student leaders, our non-instructional and instructional faculty, and our managers, provide a unique lens and perspective that will contribute to these efforts, not just in the present, but in the future. We do this ultimately because each one of us plays a part in student success. We know that campuses with high collegiality improves the experiences of our students. If faculty, staff, managers, classified staff, paraprofessionals, student workers, student leaders, if all of us, if we work together in effective ways, we'll provide a more positive experience for every single person on this campus. Our students will thrive, we will thrive. A higher workplace satisfaction occurs when employees feel like they're part of the community. That is not, they not only know that they're colleagues by name, but they enjoy working with them. We are a diverse community. This diversity is truly our greatest resource. As we look inwardly, we uncover the experiences and perspectives within reach. We seek to engage the diversity of your experiences, your gifts, your talents. This is your opportunity to become a leader on campus and to contribute to this work. Thank you so much. And now I would like to introduce our fabulous Office of Professional Development team who have put all of this together, and constantly work to improve our experience on campus. They'll be providing a few reminders related to to the daily activities, and so I'd like to invite Natalie Pacheco, Dr. Jason Robinson, and Dr. Nick Hatch. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuk Tuk and Talene, and to all of our speakers this morning. We appreciate your remarks and the care for this community within which those words are grounded. My name is Jason, and I'm very happy to be with you today. Before we head off into a day of professional learning, we wanted to just leave you with a couple of reminders. First, the schedule for today was included in the email you received from Alex Buckelhide this morning. Keep in mind that at the end of this session, there will be a break until 10:15 when the first breakout sessions begin. Our lunch today will occur from 11:45 to 12:45. We'll have one additional 15-minute break this afternoon from 2:15 to 2:30, and then we finish at 4:30 unless you're joining one of the virtual evening sessions at 5 o'clock. If you did not get a chance to order lunch, we did get a few extras, but we ask that you wait until 12:15, at which point we will distribute those extra lunches. There are a couple of bonus events occurring today. During lunch, there will be an OWL camera demo in R122. So if you would like to check out that technology, please stop by. Also, Big Nash will be here serving ice cream from 1:30 to 3:30. So if you need a sweet cold treat, please pop by. The Zoom links for all the sessions today can be found in a few different places. The calendar invite you received after you registered. You can also go to your transcript in the Vision Resource Center, and you likely also received a reminder yesterday of the sessions for which you registered today. Please keep in mind that due to the college's recent migration with Zoom, you might receive a pop-up message when you click on the meetings that you're attending today. That message will state that you're joining an external session. It's okay to not worry about that and join anyway. We promise you will be safe. Well, there's not a sign-in sheet for this opening session. It's really important that you document your attendance in all of the other sessions today. So if it's an in-person session, there will be a paper and pen sign-in sheet. And if it's a Zoom session, there will be a virtual sign-in sheet that will be dropped into the chat at some point during the time that you're there. The process for providing feedback also occurs through the Vision Resource Center. So you can access those forms by going to your transcript in the Vision Resource Center, and you'll also be receiving an email for the sessions that you signed up for. You can complete it that way too. Before I hand it over to Natalie, my last thing I wanted to just kind of reiterate is that earlier in the program, Alex outlined some of the expectations and etiquette related to COVID-19 safety. And we just want to remind you, just be really careful today, have a good time, but keep masked if you're inside and if you're outside in large groups, and maintain physical distancing. Thank you, and I'll hand it over to my colleague, Natalie Pacheco.
Hello, my name is Natalie, and I am the instructional designer in the Office of Professional Development. We wanted to take this opportunity with all of you to share an important announcement about the Vision Resource Center. Starting this fall, we are aiming to have all professional development activities channeled through the Vision Resource Center. So if you are planning a PD activity, please inform the Office of PD. For now, an email to prodev@pasadena.edu will suffice, but we are working on a more streamlined method for you to share your events with us, and we'll outline that in the coming weeks. When you inform us about a PD activity you are planning, we will set up the Vision Resource Center to facilitate your event registration, attendance, and end-of-session evaluation. Everyone will benefit by having the college's PD events flow through the Vision Resource Center. Each person will have all of their individual professional learning activities documented in one place, and any one of us will be able to see all of the upcoming offerings at any given point in time. We know there is a strong commitment to professional learning across this community, and we thank you in advance for helping us expand the Vision Resource Center to be an even more useful tool in this endeavor.
Good morning, everyone. I am the last person that you will meet today. I am Nicholas Hatch, and I am a faculty member in the Division of Kinesiology, Health, and Athletics. Many of you may also know me as your current Flex Program Coordinator. I'm going to close this out today by sharing an experience that I was part of last academic year. During the spring semester, students from Associated Students and students from the Student Advisory Equipo met with the PD and the Flex Committee to share their thoughts on the role of professional development at PCC. If I had to distill their words into a single point, it would be that the most impactful moments of their college experience were the moments when they were treated as humans. So when we engage in learning, whether it be today, next week, next month, I hope you'll take the opportunity to think about how you discover and connect our students to their humanity and the ways that will show them that this world of intellect and academics is their world. They are here to claim what is rightfully theirs, and we must reshape ourselves again and again and again until we are formed into the mentors that they deserve. It's on that note that I wish you a day of meaningful learning. Before you leave, we have a slide of all the new hires. We have many new people joining our community this semester, and I hope that as you leave, you will take note of their names, and whether you see them on Zoom or you see them in person, that you will note those names, that you will greet them, that you will welcome. It's not an easy time to be joining our community, but these people are joining us. They are part of our community now, and we want to make them feel welcome. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.